Something is about to happen this week that most gold and silver owners have no idea is coming. And if you are holding precious metals right now, or if you have been thinking about buying some, what unfolds in the next 10 days could either make you a lot of money or cost you a fortune. This is not a prediction. This is already set in motion. The events are already scheduled on the calendar, the players are already in position, and the market is already holding its breath. But almost nobody is talking about this in simple, honest language. So today, that is exactly what we are going to do. If you are interested in money, finance, or changing your financial future, like this video and subscribe right now, because what you are about to learn can change the way you see money forever. Let me start with something that might surprise you. Right now, gold is trading at over $4,000 an ounce. Silver is hovering around $73. And if you had told someone those numbers 5 years ago, they would have thought you were crazy. But here's the strange part. Even at these prices, the people who truly understand precious metals are not celebrating. They are watching, carefully, because they know that in the precious metals world, the most dangerous moments are not when prices are crashing. The most dangerous moments are exactly when things seem calm, stable, almost quiet, because that is when the next big move is being loaded. And right now, the gun is loaded, and this week it is about to fire. But before I tell you exactly what is happening, you need to understand something that most people get completely wrong about gold and silver. Most people think precious metals go up because people are scared, and yes, fear is part of it. But that is only half the story. The other half, the half that actually determines when prices move violently and suddenly, is something called monetary policy. Specifically, interest rate decisions made by the most powerful financial institution on the planet. And that institution is about to make a decision that could shake the entire market. I will explain that in a moment. But first, let me tell you about a man named Raj. Raj is a 38-year-old school teacher in a mid-sized city. He saves carefully, drives a used car, packs his lunch every day. 3 years ago, Raj started buying small amounts of physical silver every month. Not because he was rich, not because some influencer told him to, but because he read a book that changed how he thought about money. He understood, quietly and simply, the cash sitting in a bank account was slowly being eaten alive by inflation. That every year he left his savings untouched, prices went up, and his savings went down in real value. So he started buying silver, small amounts, patiently. By early 2026, Raj had accumulated a meaningful position in silver. And then, on January 30th of this year, he watched in disbelief as silver prices crashed by nearly 40% in a single day. His phone buzzed. His wife looked over his shoulder at the screen. His heart sank. And yet, and this is the part that matters, Raj did not panic. Because he understood something that most people only learn after losing a lot of money. He understood that a one-day crash does not change a long-term truth. He had seen this before. And he knew that understanding why it happened was more important than reacting emotionally to the number on the screen. So what exactly happened on that day? What caused silver to fall 39% in a single afternoon? And more importantly, what is happening right now that could cause the next massive move? Because whatever direction the market goes this week, it will go there fast. That is the one thing everybody agrees on. Let me explain this as simply as I possibly can, because this affects every single person watching this video, whether you own gold and silver or not. Think about it this way. Imagine you have two options for your money. Option 1 is to put your money in a savings account that pays you 4% interest per year. Option 2 is to buy a gold bar and put it in your safe. The gold bar pays you nothing. It just sits there. So when interest rates are high, when your savings account is paying you good money just to leave your cash there, fewer people want to buy gold and silver because there is no return. And when fewer people want to buy something, the price goes down. But when interest rates drop, when your savings account suddenly pays almost nothing, gold and silver start looking very attractive again, because at least they hold their value as everything else inflates. Do you see the connection? Interest rates and precious metals are like two sides of a seesaw. When one goes up, the other tends to go down. And right now, the entire world is watching to see which side goes up and which goes down. Here is where it gets serious. On June 10th, just days from now, the United States will release its Consumer Price Index data for May 2026. The CPI is essentially the government's official measurement of inflation. It tells you how much prices have risen for everyday things: groceries, gas, rent, clothing. And this single data release is going to send shockwaves through the gold and silver market. Because if inflation is still running hot, if prices are still rising faster than the government wants, it means the Federal Reserve may feel pressure to keep interest rates high or even raise them. And that, as you now understand, is bad for gold and silver in the short term. But here is the twist that most people are not thinking about. Inflation right now is being driven by something that cannot easily be controlled by raising interest rates. Oil prices remain elevated because of ongoing conflict in the Middle East. The war between the United States and Iran that began earlier this year has not ended. As long as oil stays expensive, almost everything stays expensive. Food, transport, manufacturing, energy bills. And the Federal Reserve cannot bomb its way to lower oil prices, so they are essentially stuck. Raise rates too aggressively and you risk crashing the economy. Keep rates steady or cut them and inflation keeps burning. Gold and silver are sitting right in the middle of this impossible situation. And this week, we are about to find out which direction the knife falls. But that is not even the biggest event happening this week. Wait, because what comes on June 16th and 17th makes the CPI release look almost small. For the first time in his career, the brand new chairman of the Federal Reserve, a bank man named Kevin Warsh, will chair his very first Federal Reserve meeting. And if you do not know who Kevin Warsh is, you need to understand this quickly, because this man is one of the most consequential figures in the global economy right now, and almost nobody outside of financial circles knows his name. Kevin Warsh is what the financial world calls a hawk. Not a hawk as in an aggressive fighter pilot. A hawk in the sense that he believes in strong money, tight policy, and fighting inflation with discipline rather than with shortcuts. He studied under the economist Milton Friedman, who famously argued that inflation is always and everywhere caused by printing too much money. Warsh watched the Federal Reserve pump trillions of dollars into the economy during and after the financial crisis. And he did not like what he saw. He actually voted against the Federal Reserve's money printing programs, called quantitative easing, back in 2010. That was an extremely rare thing to do. It was career-defining. It said everything about who he is. Now, he is the most powerful central banker on the planet, and his first official meeting is in 9 days. Let me tell you what the market did the moment Trump nominated Warsh back in January. Gold, which had been at nearly $5,600, crashed 16% in 48 hours. Silver did something even more dramatic. It fell 39%. Billions of dollars in wealth evaporated in less than 2 days. People who had bought silver at the highs woke up and found their investment nearly cut in half. Why? Because the market understood something immediately. If Warsh was serious, if he was truly going to run a disciplined, inflation-fighting Federal Reserve, that meant interest rates would stay high, or even go higher. And as you now know, high interest rates are not friendly for gold and silver, but here's the thing that nobody is talking about. And this is the part that actually determines what happens next. Most analysts now believe that Warsh will not cut rates at this June meeting. The data does not support it. Inflation is still running at about 3.8%, nearly double the Federal Reserve's official 2% target. A new Fed chair cutting rates aggressively in his very first meeting would send a terrifying signal to the market that he is caving to political pressure, just like his predecessor was accused of doing. Warsh cannot afford that reputation, not in his first week on the job. So the most likely outcome of June 16th and 17th is that rates stay exactly where they are. No cut, no hike. Status quo. Now here is the critical question. Does that mean nothing happens? Does it mean gold and silver just sit there quietly? Absolutely not. And this is where most investors make their biggest mistake. They think about whether the decision itself is good or bad. What they should be thinking about is the language used to describe the decision. Because in the Federal Reserve world, a single word change in an official statement can move markets by billions of dollars. If Warsh says something in his press conference that sounds more dovish, softer, more flexible than the market expected, gold could surge. If he sounds more hawkish, tougher, more rigid than expected, gold could fall again. It is not just the decision, it is the signal. And nobody in the average investing world is prepared for how fast this can happen. Think about Maria. Maria is a 42-year-old nurse. She has been saving for 16 years. Last year, worried about inflation eating her retirement, she moved about 20% of her savings into a gold ETF, essentially a fund that tracks the price of gold. She does not check it every day. She trusts that gold is safe. She trusts that precious metals are the reliable, slow, and steady part of her portfolio. She has never heard of Kevin Warsh. She has never thought about the CPI report. And when the market moves 5 or 10% in a single afternoon after a Fed announcement, Maria will have no idea why. She will just see the number change and feel her stomach drop. The difference between Maria and someone who actually understands this market is not intelligence. It is information. And that is exactly why you're watching this right now. Here is something powerful to understand about the current moment. Even with all this uncertainty, even with a new hawkish Fed chair, even with inflation stubbornly high, even with a war in the Middle East, central banks around the world are still buying gold at record pace. In the first quarter of 2026 alone, central banks purchased an estimated 244 metric tons of gold. And for the first time in history, that buyer list includes countries like Guatemala, Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia, Uganda, and Kenya. These are not billionaires speculating. These are entire governments deciding that gold belongs in their national reserves. Ask yourself something. If central banks, the very institutions that print and manage money, are loading up on gold, even at these prices, what do they know that the average person does not? The answer is uncomfortable. They know that the current global financial system is under enormous stress. They know that the combination of massive government debt, persistent inflation, and geopolitical instability creates a world where holding assets that cannot be printed, manipulated, or devalued is not just smart, it is necessary. And they are acting on that knowledge quietly, consistently, every single quarter, while the rest of the world argues about stock prices. But here is what makes this week so uniquely dangerous. It is not just the CPI data. It is not just the Fed meeting. It is both of them happening within days of each other. And they are happening at a moment when silver in particular is already in technically weak territory. Silver is currently trading below all its major moving averages, the 50-day, the 21-day, the 100-day. That means the short-term momentum is bearish. Analysts watching the charts see a market that is struggling to find direction. And when a technically weak market gets hit by a major economic event, a surprise in either direction, the move tends to be amplified, bigger than expected, faster than most people can react to. That is the shock that is coming. And whether it goes up or down, it is going to happen fast. Now, I want to talk about the three kinds of people who exist right now in the gold and silver market, because understanding which one you are determines what you should be thinking about. The first type is the panic seller. This person bought gold or silver when prices were high, maybe near the record highs in early January of this year, and when prices fell, they sold at a loss. They let fear drive the decision. They did not understand why they owned it in the first place. And now they are on the sidelines, watching, wondering if they should buy back in, losing sleep over the question. The panic seller is the most common type of precious metals investor, and they almost always lose. The second type is the frozen holder. This person bought precious metals and simply refuses to look at the account. They tell themselves they are long-term investors, but really, they are just avoiding the discomfort of not knowing. They are not managing their position. They are hiding from it. This is slightly better than panic selling, but it is still not a strategy. The third type, and this is the person you want to be, is the informed holder. The informed holder knows why they own gold and silver. They know what drives prices. They understand the Federal Reserve, the CPI, the difference between short-term volatility and long-term value. When prices fall, they do not panic. They evaluate. When prices rise, they do not become overconfident. They stay disciplined. And when a major week like this one arrives, they are not anxious. They are prepared. The difference between these three types of people has nothing to do with how much money they have. It has everything to do with how much they understand. Let me give you one more thing to think about, and this is the part that most channels will not tell you. Right now, the question of whether to buy, hold, or sell gold and silver is not as simple as looking at a price chart. There are forces at work in this market that operate on multiple levels simultaneously. On the surface, you have technical weakness, silver below its moving averages, gold facing resistance. One level deeper, you have the upcoming Fed meeting and CPI data that could swing prices dramatically in either direction. One level deeper than that, you have a new Fed chair whose first public test of his philosophy is literally days away, and whose every word will be studied under a microscope by every major bank, hedge fund, and government treasury on the planet. And one level deeper than all of that, you have structural forces, central bank buying, geopolitical instability, dollar uncertainty, that have been building for years and have not gone away. In fact, they are getting stronger. This means that the short-term shock that is coming this week, whatever direction it goes, does not necessarily change the long-term picture. But it absolutely determines the short-term price. And if you are someone who bought recently at higher prices, this week matters. If you are someone considering buying for the first time, this week matters. And if you are someone who owns precious metals and has not thought about any of this week matters more than you know. There is one more dimension to this story that I want to make sure you understand, because it ties everything together. When the January crash happened, when gold fell 16% and silver fell 39% in 2 days, a lot of ordinary people sold. They were scared. The number went down, they felt sick, they hit the sell button. And then something quietly happened over the next few weeks. Prices recovered. Gold bounced back above $4,000. Silver climbed back. And the people who had sold, the panic sellers, were left holding losses, while the informed holders were back in profit. This happens over and over again in every asset class. The market punishes emotional decisions and rewards patient, informed ones. The question is never just what is happening. The question is, what does it mean? And what does it mean for you specifically, given your situation, your timeline, and your goals? So here is where we are right now. This week, 2 major events will rock the gold and silver market. First, the May CPI inflation data drops on June 10th. If inflation is higher than expected, the pressure on the Fed to stay hawkish increases, and precious metals could fall. If inflation surprises on the downside, if prices have actually started to cool, the market may begin pricing in future rate cuts, and gold and silver could surge. Then, on June 16th and 17th, Kevin Warsh chairs his very first Federal Reserve meeting. Every word he says will be dissected, every pause, every subtle shift in language, every tone of voice. The market will absorb all of it and react, and that reaction will be fast, possibly very fast. But here is what I want you to carry with you after watching this. The shock that is coming this week, the volatility, the sudden price movement, the breathless headlines, is not a reason to panic. It is a reason to understand. Because the people who truly build wealth through assets like gold and silver are not the people who got lucky on a single trade. They are the people who understood the system deeply enough to make decisions based on knowledge rather than fear. They are the Rajs of the world, the careful, patient, informed people who know that a single bad day does not rewrite a long-term truth. Your savings are too important to leave to luck. Your financial future is too important to navigate blind. Every single week, this channel breaks down what is happening in the financial world in a way that is honest, simple, and actually useful. Not jargon, not scare tactics, just clear explanations of how money actually works and what you can actually do about it. Here is the decision you are facing right now. Not about whether to buy gold or sell silver. That is a decision you need to make based on your own situation, your own research, and ideally with the guidance of a financial advisor who understands your specific circumstances. The decision you're facing right now is simpler and more important than that. The decision is whether you are going to keep learning, keep building the understanding that protects you when the market shocks everyone around you, or whether you're going to stay in the dark, hoping that your financial future works out on its own. Because hope is not a strategy, and the market does not care how hard you work to earn your savings. It only responds to knowledge, patience, and discipline. This week will pass. The CPI will come out. Kevin Warsh will speak. Markets will move. And when the dust settles, the people who understood what was happening will be better positioned than the people who did not. Make sure you are one of the people who understood. If you learned something new today, make sure to subscribe to Money Insights and like this video. More powerful financial truths are coming next.